So I forgot to mention in the last video that on Friday morning, me and my wife did finally receive our foil counterspell promos. And we also went down to pick up our boxes for Commander and Cocktails. So yeah, sorry, forgot about that. Um, Onto the House of Clue. So, like everything else up till this point at Magiccon, it did not start on time. Wasn't too far behind, but took a little bit to get started. Everybody was waiting inside, but we had to wait before metal detectors, and they weren't allowing anybody to come beyond that point until after 5:30. At least that's what they said. Didn't actually end up happening till like 5:40, so we were all crammed in a tiny little spot, and everyone was just waiting to get in. Once we did get in, we went right into the dining area, and the food was ready until it ran out, and you had to wait for them to bring more. I mean, we were able to just, keep coming up, so that was a plus, but uh yeah, I mean, all the food was pretty good. I kind of stayed away from the vegetarian options because they did not look too appetizing to me, but to each their own. Uh Once we got our food, we went sat down and tried to go up and see if we can get a drink, and it was only a cash bar till 9 o'clock. And I did not feel like paying over $10 for a drink. So we ended up just settling for soda because that thankfully was free. Uh, After everybody pretty much had come in, they ended up starting to do a panel where Wizards and Hasbro kind of discussed the whole process of what got them to the Clue Ravnica edition. And it was a lot of interesting stuff. It kind of just happened out of nowhere from the way they described it. And then, after everybody kind of said their bit, there was a Q&A, which really brought some interesting questions to light that I never would have even thought of, or some things I didn't even know. Like all the other games that WotC tried to do that just failed. Um, but I think Clue Ravnica Edition is pretty fun. Once the Q&A was done, once all the panels were done, they handed us out a bag, and we ended up getting Clue Conspiracy along with our Ravnica Clue Edition. So it was a nice little bonus that, WotC and Hasbro decided to throw in. So thank you to you guys for giving us a little more bang for our buck. Um, Unfortunately, we had to use our own Ravnica Clue Edition to have the play experience at the dinner. Which, being the nice guy that I am, I opened up mine for the table. I mean, it was just me, my wife, and then one other person. And we ended up playing through. It would have been a lot more fun if we had a fourth person, just because it takes some of the mystery out, shutting it down to three people. Um, but yeah, we played our game. I ended up winning. Yay. I just got very lucky, and I had Rakdos and Boros, and it just way too easy to win with those two. Once that was all done, we had about an hour before the party itself was gonna start. And yeah, we pretty much just waited around for an hour. Once the party started, though, it was interesting. So they had a DJ upstairs, and karaoke was downstairs in the dining area. Um, Went in line, grabbed myself and my wife a drink right away to start off. And I'm glad I did, because the line turned to about 15, 20 minutes long right after me. And it was about that long of a wait every time. So unfortunately, wasn't able to get too much of our money's worth out of just drinking. But whatever. Um, so yeah, the DJ was upstairs, and from the bottom of the stairs, it sounded awful. And I found out from people coming down that it truly was not well at all. Um, so the karaoke area that was in the smaller part of the House of Blues was starting to get crammed, but it was awesome. There were so many people that had great voices, and karaoke was definitely the place to be. Um, yeah, and then we ended up leaving early just because it was starting to get really packed and it was really loud, and we're not used to that. So headed back to the hotel and called it a night. Well, then Saturday came around. We skipped breakfast. Neither of us were really feeling it. And we ended up heading down, say about 10 o'clock. We headed down to the convention center. I had my sealed Pro Tour qualifier right away that day. And I don't think I will do it again. I love doing limited. It is by far my second favorite, only to Commander. Um, I had a very, very terrible pool, and it pretty much came down to if you weren't running Rakdos or Boros, you didn't really stand a chance. At least from what I played and from the people that I played experience. If you were not running those two, you just did not have the speed or the strength to be able to keep up with anybody. So I ended up going 0-3 and just got myself out of the tournament because it didn't play to stick around. The deck I had, although I got some good pulls, it just was not able to compete. Did not make any sense for me to stick around. So I went to go watch my wife because she had ended up doing the Doctor Who Commander event. And her event started late, like pretty much every event. Uh, my sealed event ended up starting like 40 minutes late, and it was like crunch time. Um, Part of the reason that I probably won't ever do that again. But her Doctor Who event started about a half hour late, and she said they gave them no direction whatsoever. They just handed out the decks, said that they could switch them, and everybody was just sitting around. And some people started sleeving, and her and the people around her didn't start sleeving. And one of the guys asked an employee, "Are we going to start sleeving?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, kind of forgot about you guys. Yeah, go ahead, start sleeving. You guys can start playing with people in your pod once you get all sleeved." Um, they only played 2 games, and they ended up going 40 minutes over the scheduled time with just 2 games. So, uh, again, a lot of failure with event schedules and times. I hope that next time they fix that. But please leave a like, follow, subscribe, share this, and feel free to comment, ask any questions. I hope I can answer them. Have a good day, guys.